So Hello Pal then became the social platform. And then we had Language Pal and Travel Pal. We feel that eventually, even if you come through on one app with one purpose, eventually you would require the services from the other apps.
Welcome to the My Future Business Show, where we get you in front of your best audience and keep you there. Not only are we interviewing the biggest names in business to help you become even more successful, we're inviting you to book your spot on the show to help you grow your business. So at the end of the call, make sure you fill in the interview application form at myfuturebusiness.com/interviews. Hi, and welcome to the My Future Business Show. My name is Rick Nuske. Thank you very much for joining us today. On today's call, we're going to be talking about an organisation that are making massive headways in this space. It's called Hello Pal, and I'm on the line with the wonderful klwong. Welcome to the show.
Thanks very much, Rick. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Now, I've been looking through, Google Play at the apps. I've been looking through the bios, and I'm seeing some incredibly exciting moves through the different stock exchanges. And I'd love to talk about all of these things that are happening and learn a bit more about that. But what I like to do is learn a little bit more about you. First of all, where are you located?
I'm in Hangzhou, the city of Hangzhou, which is the same place where Alibaba is, which you've probably heard of.
Oh, yes.
Which is near Shanghai, Shanghai city, which everyone's heard of. So Hangzhou is a city about 1 hour away.
Fantastic.
But also a very bustling IT city.
Yes, absolutely. And China is known for its technology and its infrastructure, and it's a credit to you. So keep up the great work. Now, I'd love to learn a little bit more about routines, your daily routines, because I can just tell that you are a very busy individual. What does your daily routine look like? Is it a very busy day?
Yeah, pretty much, especially recently, and especially with the time zone difference with the West. So I find myself having to wake up very early and do interviews like 8 a.m. in the morning, and also past midnight.
Oh, fantastic. No, look, I'm sure it's very much well worthwhile. Now, given that you are deeply involved with Hello Pal from the start, in actual fact, you're the founder of Hello Pal. Do you have any times for hobbies or doing any other thing other than the business right now?
Oh, yes. That I must find time because I now have a 1-year-old. And my passion actually it revolves around education. Fantastic. So actually, Hello Pal even started off that way. So my first business was in the field of early education, and that was directly because I was teaching my own daughter. So now, similarly, I'm back very much into education in teaching my own son.
Yes, fantastic.
So that's also another business I'm also keenly exploring right now in my spare time.
In your spare time? Wow, I'm surprised there is much spare time. Now, in terms of education, how valuable is it for you to continually be learning?
Oh, very much. I'm, one thing I tell people is that being in China, because YouTube access is blocked in China.
Yep.
But luckily we have ways around it, which is a gray area.
VPNs
but I keep
and
telling
things.
people that's right. If being in China, if I'm unable to access YouTube, which is where I get a lot of information, it would be very difficult for me to continue staying in China.
Yeah. Oh, look, there's always a path, isn't there, Phil? It's never that we don't have enough resources. It's just that we lack resourcefulness, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Now, well, look, I'm loving this conversation. I'm sure we're going to go down some different paths. Now, in terms of people that inspire you, if you had the opportunity to meet someone, KL, who in this world would you like to meet, do you think?
Probably Salman Khan of the Khan Academy.
Oh, right.
Because he is an educator.
Yep.
In some ways, he's similar to me in that his business started off as a passion in teaching. I think it was his nephew.
Yep.
He was doing videos for his nephew, and then those videos took a life of its own, and then became what's now the Khan Academy.
Yeah, that's excellent.
And that inspires me because my teaching my own children has also turned into a business. So maybe one day, hopefully, it'll be as successful as Khan Academy is.
Yes, thank you for sharing. Now, I wonder, given that my focus is not about just the nuts and bolts of a business, and in particular, Hello Pow in this call, but I'd love to go back, if you can recall, when you were growing up, what was one of the most fondest memories that you have as a child?
Cool.
Little while back now.
Yeah. Gosh. It would probably my time as during what's called the primary school
Yes.
time.
Yes.
When I was very much into Star Wars and trying my best to acquire Star Wars toys behind my parents' back.
You sound like me. I'm an avid Star Wars fan. Absolutely love Star Wars. Do you keep up with it?
Yeah, and being conned in the process, trying to get all of the toys. Yeah.
And when you were growing up, we often find somebody that's around us that we connect with. Who in your early days did you listen to the most? It can be friends, family, colleagues.
I think probably I would say my dad's words had the most influence on me.
Fantastic.
Whether it appears that I'm listening or not, but certainly, his words had the biggest impact.
Yeah, no, I really love this because we're leading to a path shortly. Now, in terms of, your first entrepreneurial experience, what was it? And was it natural for you? Did you always know that you were going to go and do things yourself?
Yeah, I think pretty early on, because my background was in law. I read law in university.
Yep.
And I started off as a lawyer. But very soon, I pretty much knew that I would not be a lawyer. That just wasn't for me.
Didn't like it.
It was too constraining.
Yep.
I just felt really caged up.
Yep.
I had all these ideas that I wanted to express, but nowhere to express them.
Yeah.
And so even as a lawyer, well, at least, I channeled my energies into doing IT related law. So I was always fascinated with technology. And so I became, a mini expert in Chinese internet law during my time.
Mm-hmm.
And that made it less unbearable. And I was very, very pleased that during the .com boom, one of our clients, which had a partnership with AOL, and which was then the first Chinese internet company to list on NASDAQ, approached me and asked me to join them. I said, hooray, and at that time, my position was a senior legal counsel, senior counsel and business development director, which I grabbed with open arms. And so because I was already half out of the legal field.
Yes. That's wonderful.
And then, after helping them spin off a subsidiary on the Hong Kong GEM board, stock exchange, secondary board, I took on a management role, vice president of strategy. So I was fully out of law, and that's when I was overjoyed. But still, I still wanted to do something myself. And then an opportunity came after the .com bust. I joined SoftBank Investment. And that's when, although I knew that wasn't the final stop for me, but it allowed me the opportunity to get up close and personal with a lot of startups, and for me to see what it was like, and which proved to be extremely beneficial.
Yeah.
When I ended up myself starting my own company.
Now, for anybody who's listening to this, we often have startup entrepreneurs with no experience. We have existing small to medium-sized business owners listening in. Can you learn entrepreneurialism, or is it something that you have to have inside you from the start?
I think a lot of it can be learned. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of missteps can be avoided. The path does not need to be as rocky, but I think, it's just like the question of nature versus nurture. I think there is a part in both, a role to play from both aspects. So I think you also need to have that entrepreneurial spirit.
Yep.
The appetite for risk taking, the willingness to lose it all, because some people don't have that.
No.
You know, some people they are saying, no, you know, I cannot imagine myself, you know, out of a job and not having a stable income. That's not a risk that they're willing to take. So that, I think that already disqualifies a lot of people.
Yeah, well, look, you only live once, don't you? You might as well go for it with both hands.
Well, that's how I feel. Yeah. But for some people, you know, different people have different priorities, and they rank, you know, these with different importance.
Yeah, absolutely.
So to each their own.
Absolutely. This has been a great call so far. Thank you so much for opening up about your points of view and your experiences. And I wonder, given how much you know, I have a question about mentorship. Do you value mentors, and do you have one at the moment?
Yes, I think mentorship is very, very key. And I think it would help anyone, especially having someone with experience in what you're doing. As I was saying earlier, there's a lot that can be learned, and a lot of it can come from mentorship. Of course, some comes from just plain failure, experience from failure.
Yeah.
Both which have their place. But mentorship, yeah, can be very important. And I do consider myself to have mentors. I consider them friends.
Yep.
As well as mentors, and one in particular came out from my time during SoftBank, where at that time I was the one looking for companies to invest in, and it's also the reason why I ended up in Hangzhou from where I was at that time, Hong Kong.
Yep.
It was a company at that time which did mobile games, so we invested in them. It was a company in Hangzhou, and since then, you know, we sold off that company, and after we sold it off, the founder then went into venture capital, and he's now an extremely successful venture capital investor.
Yep.
In China. And then after that, I became an entrepreneur, and now the roles have reversed. So he's investing in my company, and also has also become not only a good friend, but also a mentor in many respects.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing that. Now, I wonder, what was the genesis for your wonderful organization, Hello Pal? Where did this come from?
I think we would have to go back to my first business, which is Brill Kids, which was in the field of early education.
Yep.
So after doing that, I wanted to expand the business to China, and I came to Hangzhou, you know, partly due to the influence of that gentleman I mentioned earlier.
Yep.
And I wanted to address the language learning market for primary school children, and I wanted to do it where there was a strong social element in it, where the children in China wanting to learn English would be able to interact with the children overseas, especially in English-speaking countries, wanting to learn Chinese. Yes. And to give them a platform where they interact as they learn the language, and also bring in their parents, to help the children of, you know, the other side.
Yep.
To act as their native language teacher. So we actually started off doing that, and along the way we decided to pivot, because doing that segment there was a lot more complications. We had to deal with parental control, you know, with whether, you know, children really wanted to learn that way, whether it's suitable, whether, you know, it's just too early for parents, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So we decided to put that on the back burner and pivot to the adult language learning market first. So, and hence Hello Pal, which still had its international social element. And in the beginning, it was much more language learning focused. But after we launched it, we realized that there were three groups of people using the app. One was just purely social. They didn't really care much about language learning. They just wanted to meet foreigners.
Yep.
Typically, people from developing countries wanting to meet people from developed countries. And then we had the language learners. And then there was a third group, travelers who wanted to meet people in other countries before they traveled there. So we decided to have different apps for those three segments, because we felt that one app couldn't cater for all of them properly.
Yeah.
So Hello Pal then became the social platform, and then we had Language Pal and Travel Pal. So but each worked to help each other and consolidate each other. And because we feel that eventually, even if you come through on one app with one purpose, eventually you would require the services from the other apps. So yeah. Hello Pal is our social.
It's a very different social media model, isn't it? They seem to all, like the likes of Facebook and all the other, I guess you'd call them giants in the industry, have their apps, but this seems very different. You've had explosive growth. What is it? 900% over the last fiscal year. What are you doing differently to get such explosive growth? It's just incredible.
Well, the explosive growth in the last year was on the revenue side.
Yeah.
And that's because we added something I've been wanting to add for the longest time, which I didn't, because I didn't have the right team. But in late 2018, I finally came across a team which I partnered with and which I brought into the company to help us do live streaming. So I think many companies are finding that, and especially social platforms, that the best way to monetize traffic is through live streaming. And that's really proven true for us. There are other ways to monetize it, and other people have also done so successfully. But even those people have found that when they've added live streaming to their social platform, the monetization improves dramatically beyond that.
Yeah.
So the growth primarily has come from live streaming, and live streaming, I believe, has been pushed to, the cutting edge of it has been in China.
Yeah.
And so, we brought on a really strong team with very good experience in live streaming.
We are in a global society, and I think there's lots to be learned from all parts of the world. And it's, again, a credit to you for what you are doing. Now, I wonder, in terms of, you talked about the team that you brought on. How do you build a successful team that goes into this? What does the selection process look like? It must be quite difficult to find the right people to match your vision.
Yeah, I think it requires a lot of luck, actually. And just context, because it's really one of the key factors in success. I used to think that the idea is so important, but really, I mean, as time goes on, I find that becomes one of the least relevant things, in determining the success of a company. And one key factor is really the people you're able to bring around you. And how do you find good people? Sometimes it's just really down to just plain dumb luck.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And it seems to me that even with billions of people on your side, it's still, that struggle is the same anywhere else in the world, isn't it?
Yeah, but, in a sense, it's also, it's like a snowball effect.
Yeah.
Where as you become more and more successful, then better people are attracted to you. You attract better people. So, but it's really in the beginning, which is really difficult to have a team. Of course, if you happen to come from a successful big company. So, for example, like a lot of successful companies, there are, for example, ex-Googlers.
Yeah.
And they would have no problem attracting venture capital.
Yeah.
But for the other unfortunate people like myself, then it's
you seem to have stumbled across this magnificent idea for Hello Pal. Now, oftentimes it doesn't work that way. You have to ask the market what they really want. Was there ever an element of having to ask the market what they want, or is it just all fallen into place for Hello Pal?
in the process, there's always a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
What sometimes features which we think would do well, it proves not to be the case.
Yeah.
And vice versa. I mean, something that we thought, we'll just put it out there. But hey, the feedback is fantastic, and then so we put more resources into it.
So I wonder, we're all going through this global pandemic at the moment. Has it had any impact, positive and negative, on Hello Pal like it has other businesses and industries?
Yeah, I think for us, the great thing is because it's purely in the digital domain, certainly the negative impacts have not been much. And I think that's more positive than negative.
Yep.
And you would expect that with live streaming. So especially, with our overseas expansion in live streaming, I think that's been a great boon because a lot of people are looking for ways to earn extra income. And one way is really to live stream. I think some people are truly shocked when they learn how much the top live streamers earn.
Yeah.
And you wonder, why is she... She just bought an apartment last month. She's buying another one. Where is she getting all that money from?
She's got money trees somewhere.
That's right, and it just blows people's minds. How much some of the live streamers earn.
Yeah, I sit here and I think to myself, I try to put myself in the shoes of our audience and ask you questions that are relevant to help them. Now, with that, you talked about failure earlier. What are some of the biggest lessons that you've taken from failure, do you think? Is it resilience? Is it tenacity? What is it?
First of all, be ready for failure.
Yeah.
And I think failure does not necessarily, don't take failure personally.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you may have done everything right, but just that the timing's not right.
Mm-hmm.
So doing the exact same thing in a different time may have made all the difference.
Yeah, timing's everything.
And yeah, so I've learned to just go with the flow, and depends on how much it really means to you to want to pursue what you're doing. So for example, when I started off my first business, Brill Kids, which is in early education, I went in, rightly or wrongly, not really having much of a business plan. And because I felt that I don't really mind if it fails, because I just need this product out in the market, because I think it will benefit a lot of people. It will at least benefit myself. And so I, as a customer, at least I would benefit.
Yeah.
So, and I strongly believe even if the business does not succeed financially or succeed to a level which is worthwhile for me, at least it has still helped people. So in that sense, I went in there not having too great a pressure on myself.
Yeah, fantastic.
And so the good thing is, the business is still around, and now the product has helped my second child, and it's formed a basis for me to create a new product on top of that, but which I would not have created if it hadn't been for the first product.
Yes, of course. Now, I wonder, can I ask you, just before I forget, early on when we're younger, oftentimes we're motivated by money. Do you think you're still motivated purely by money?
Rightly or wrongly, not much. I mean, that actually, it is certainly a motivation. Mm-hmm. It is certainly something which I sometimes would daydream about. Oh, it would be so nice if,
a Bentley.
Blah blah blah. But that's not really what drives me to continue to work.
Right.
It's really the satisfaction in being able to turn an idea into reality and seeing people benefit from that, and that in itself is huge enough reward for me. So which is why for my first business, even though financially it hasn't really been successful, but it pays its own bills.
Yep.
But for me, I'm very pleased with it already because I've seen how many people this helped. I've seen, the countless videos of parents posting, of their children learning to read, learning, etc., etc. And from that, we created a foundation which has helped countless of children in very poor countries, orphanages.
Yep.
And they write, letters of gratitude, for the help that is more than reward for me.
Absolutely. Now,
whether financially, eventually whether it makes a lot of sense financially, that's a bonus which I can have or have not.
It's a bonus of a good. It's a byproduct of a good process, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'd love to, if I could, go back to that very first time with Hello Pal, when you saw the accolades come through. You saw that it was working for that first family, that first friend, that first stranger from overseas. How did it make you feel?
Like with education, a sense of, a pat on the back that say, hey, you're helping people.
Yeah.
So I haven't mentioned Hello Pal's company mission is to bring the world closer together.
Yeah.
So for me, the business that I do, it needs to have a larger purpose than just, making money.
Yeah.
So for me, so everything that we do needs to be able to relate back to that, to that mission. And I think that mission has become even more important in today's world, which has become more and more segregated and opposed.
Absolutely. It's unfortunate.
With different, that's right. So that brings an extra urgency to what we're doing.
Yeah, in closing.
And even like the recent endeavors that we've been doing with cryptocurrency, some people say, hey, what's that got to do with the business?
Yes, let's talk about that. That's very exciting, something that's happening.
Yeah, I mean, when we first made our announcement that we're going to help users do Bitcoin mining. I said, what's that got to do with Hello Pal? I said, well, first and foremost, financially, which is what a lot of people care about, we think this is going to be a good business. Okay, so we think we're very certain this is going to earn us money, where we are allowing people, our users, to Bitcoin mine. So not just do cloud mining where they're buying computing power, which a lot of which are frankly scams.
Yep.
We are actually allowing you to essentially buy a Bitcoin mining machine to mine yourself, and that machine is yours. That specific machine is yours. We'll even show you your name on it. We'll live stream it if you want to show, hey, this is your machine, and the Bitcoin that's appearing in your crypto wallet is from this particular machine. Of course, you can also buy jointly with others if the machine is too much. So it allows a way for people to get in on the action because there's a lot of interest in Bitcoin in the past few months, and increasingly so.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but as I said, that's a larger purpose to what we're doing. Why we are doing that is because currency and payments and exchange of value is really a fundamental piece in the puzzle of what we're doing in our international platform. Mm-hmm. Because as an international platform, eventually you need to deal with the exchange of value. And right now it's tremendously difficult with the way, some people don't even have bank accounts in third world countries.
No.
So how are you going to receive money and pay to these people? So we see cryptocurrency, being borderless, as a very, very good fit to what we're doing. And we like to think ourselves as a borderless platform and be in a position to help people from all over the world be able to not only interact, but be able to reward each other. And so crypto is really a linchpin in this puzzle. And so this Bitcoin mining, what we're trying to do is to get our users familiar with cryptocurrency, and also to bring people outside our platform who are already users of cryptocurrency into our platform to help spread cryptocurrency.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really why we're doing it.
It's very exciting. And I also want to talk about other ways that you monetize Hello Power. Could you talk a little bit about the process outside of Bitcoining, mining?
Yeah, so right now the main revenue stream comes from live streaming. And the way live streaming monetization works is this. So if you are a host, a live streaming host, so you would be there, live streaming yourself. You could be singing, performing, or just chatting with people. And typically, live streamers are females, and it's the guys who become their fans and want to show their appreciation and want to get their attention. So then they give virtual gifts to the host. So in order to give gifts, so I buy these virtual coins. So it's like going to an arcade and you buy all these virtual tokens.
I understand.
With which you spend. Yeah. So similarly, I use these tokens to buy you virtual gifts. It could be like a virtual rose all the way to a huge, virtual Ferrari. Obviously not called Ferrari. but the bigger the gift, the more obvious it is. So it's like the sense of pride also.
Yep.
And then, so you as a host would also, have that vanity effect. Say, wow, the whole platform, saw that, XYZ gave me, a virtual Ferrari, etc. So the platform gets that payment from your top up, but obviously the host, you as a host, get to cash out what you receive. So which the platform will pay you from the gifts that you receive.
So, and later on, when the Bitcoin comes online strong, you'll be able to receive Bitcoin as payment, presumably, and then convert it to cash if you needed to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think it would probably replace cash.
Yep.
So instead of using cash to buy the coins, you would use Bitcoin. etc. Now,
I heard that you also have another coin that you might be offering to mine. Is that true?
Yes. So our first announcement, we talked about the ability to mine Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Yeah.
And recently we've just made an announcement where we are making a very big bet on Dogecoin.
Yeah.
And Dogecoin goes hand in hand with Litecoin because that's the simplest, most straightforward way where you get Dogecoin, which is where you mine Litecoin because they're merged. So and the reason why we pay a lot of attention to Dogecoin is because we see that as potentially the currency of the internet. So it could even play a more significant role than Bitcoin because right now Dogecoin is starting to be used in social environments like Reddit.
Yep.
So we see a lot of potential for it to become more and more important, and I think it's an even greater fit for our platform being a social platform, an international social platform, where eventually we could see on our platform Dogecoin usage to be even more than Bitcoin, and so we're making an early and big bet on Dogecoin, which is why we announced our taking a position in a Dogecoin mining facility, as well as Dogecoin mining assets. And similarly with these Dogecoin mining assets, we will allow users to buy these Dogecoin mining machines for themselves.
This is no small undertaking, and it's an incredible thing that you're doing. It's very forward thinking, and I wish you all the very best. Now, we're at the pointy end of the call, and now it's time to talk about, if we could please, how people can get their hands on this wonderful product, Hello Power.
The simplest way would be to hit the App Store for iPhones or Google Play for Android devices, and just search for Hello Power and you'll find us.
That's fantastic. Now, anybody who's on the call with us, I'll be making sure to provide the links back to Hello Pal and all of the other relevant information that you're going to need. Definitely take a look. It's very much worthwhile. It's an amazing platform. I've been looking through the Google Play Store myself. Very, very exciting. And with all that being said, Tao, thank you so very much for spending some time with me on the My Future Business show today.
Thanks so much, Rick.
Thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed the call, then make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, share us with your friends, and book your spot on the show at myfuturebusiness.com/interviews. And if you're looking for solutions that will help grow your business, then visit myfuturebusiness.com/shop.